Hey everybody, it's Doug Schauf with Remax Oceanside and Make Maine Your Home.com. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about 5 reasons to live in South Portland, Maine. South Portland's a great town. I used to live there, so let's talk about 5 reasons to live in South Portland. Let's do this. All right, everybody. Like I said, today we're going to talk about some reasons to live in South Portland, Maine. Quick story. Me and my wife lived in Portland for many, many years. When we moved here, we lived in Portland, a few different locations in Portland. Loved it. One of the last locations we lived in was on Munjoy Hill, and we just loved it. And like when we got married and decided to raise a family, we started to think, hey, look, maybe we should move to a different town, get out of the city, quote unquote. So we moved across the bridge and we went over to South Portland, and we loved the community over there in South Portland. So I'm really excited to talk to you today. Number 1, you're a Portland neighbor. If you don't like to live in the city, maybe you want a little bit more of a neighborhood feel, things like that, but still have the perks of being super close to the city. The neighborhood that me and my wife moved into, it was right over the bridge, going into Portland. So we were able to get back into Portland minutes. Boom. We're like right downtown, having fun still, going out to restaurants, things like that. So just being a Portland neighbor is kind of nice for South Portland. There's a lot of great neighborhoods in South Portland, and it's very, very close to Portland. So number 2, it's a waterfront town. And there's some great beaches here. Willard Beach is a great one, Bug Light and things like that. A lot of great waterfront communities in South Portland. SMCC's right over there, right on the waterfront, but it's a great waterfront community. There's a public boat launch over there at Bug Light too. I had a boat for a while and it was really easy, just kind of pull in there, drop the boat in, go cruise around the islands, come back, and all because you're living here in South Portland, Maine. Number 3. It's a great community. There's some great schools and also some social events. The schools, SMCC, I mentioned that it's right on the waterfront there. When I first moved to the Portland area, it was called SMTC, I believe, Southern Maine Technical College. And then they switched to a community college, and people are really flocking to it because you can go to your first couple years of college there, and then the credits transfer over to USM. You can transfer your credits over, and it helps you save you some money. And it's a great school. It's right there on the water in South Portland, and Willard Beach is right next to it. So social events in South Portland. I'm in the Rotary Club, and we do a Winter Fest every year. There's an Art in the Park over at Mill Creek Park that I think is a great social event. I've mentioned Bug Light a couple times. If you haven't noticed, Bug Light's like one of my favorite places in all of Maine. It's a great little park. Bug Light is a lighthouse that's out there. I highly recommend going to check it out. And they do some great things in that park all summer long. They have like a kite festival and a few other festivals over there. The last few years, they've been setting up a giant screen and showing movies there. So you can sit there, and it's awesome. I've been down there watching movies once, and all of a sudden you see a big cruise ship go by, or kind of like as you're watching a movie. Very cool. Highly recommend it. And then number 4 is you got a great view of Portland. Some of the best views in the Portland area come when you're in South Portland. There's a couple of restaurants down on the water there, or if you own a house down there, you're staring right back at the city and you see the skyline. It's an awesome view of the bay, of Casco Bay, looking out at the islands, and then also being able to look at Portland. Have dinner, have lunch at one of the restaurants that's on the water in South Portland. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Stunning. And then number 5, last but not least, the Main Mall. So not only do you got some great waterfront communities, all that stuff, but as you work your way over towards the mall, you got the whole mall atmosphere to be able to do shopping, all that kind of stuff. Every holiday season, you'll find me in there on December 23rd. I'm one of those guys that walks through the mall. It's one of the only times of the year that I go to the mall, but that I kind of like it. And you have all those restaurants and lots of different shopping and stuff like that over there near the mall. Those are the 5 reasons to live in South Portland. You're a Portland neighbor, beaches and waterfront, a great community with some great schools and social events. You got one of the best views of Portland going. And then the mall is also here in South Portland. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, comment below. Hit me up through email, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you want. And remember, if you make Maine your home, you don't have to do it alone.
Really good. I'm very glad I took the